How's it? And what do you know? That's an arm day there for you. Pretty gosh damn crazy. Did some real posing without the aid of steroids, unfortunately. But little do you know, it seems that your boy might have just unlocked a new little possibility, a new path. You know, the warlock came to me and he said, I have a mission for you. And you know what? I pressed A or X if you're a normal person and accepted the challenge. And it seems like that pathway might be rather lucrative. Not lucrative in the sense of physical monies, but lucrative in the sense of your boy's gonna be jacked and cutting sooner than we thought. So I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not gonna say, but if you can put two and two together, you essentially understand what's gonna happen sooner than we thought, if you've been reading the titles of these videos. Now, that means many things. One of which is that I am going to have to start doing cardio again, which honestly I'm really looking forward to, because boy oh boy am I feeling rather chunky and I just can't breathe. Believe it or not, that's not only a side effect, like not being able to breathe is a side effect of steroids, but it's also just a side effect of being fat. And currently I'm feeling the handles around my waist. The love handles are feeling rather grippable, if that makes sense. I was looking at my back posing. I was like, damn, you've done a bulk, and I'm happy with it. That's what I set out to do, and that's what we achieved. Bulk, great success, you know. And that means the cut is going to be even more nasty. So posing comes with has started becoming more intense, which I'm quite enjoying. I'm getting the grip of it slowly. There's a lot of technicalities, and also it's kind of, you know, figuring out what your weak points, strong points are, so you can pose in a way to essentially hide from the judges your weak points, etc., etc., which is, you know, a pretty solid form of deception. It's like a invisibility spell in Minecraft, or a bomb. You know, people just cease to see what's going on after. Now, speaking of, it's been interesting as well, because with the coming few days I've started, you know, buckling down a bit more than I have been, and with that has dwindled my passion for video games. Now, that's used to say that I don't like video games, and I'm just taking a temporary probation from them due to, you know, everything and the chaos in my life. But I am slightly convinced that when you start focusing heavily on other things, video games dwindle in your mind a lot. And that kind of goes to show that although they are great, and I do love them, and I play them way too much, to be completely honest with you. Actually, no, not too much. I play them when I have the time, and I have time for them. So, you know, it's correct. But it kind of shows when you have a busy mind, you don't really think about, you know, the almost... I wouldn't say it's wasteful, because I also came up with an interesting point with someone I was talking to, and they brought up the point that humans are very weird in the fact that although even when we're resting, and in this sense resting would be video games, you know, relaxing, we still choose to put ourselves through like emotional work, essentially. Like, if you think about it, when you play a video game like Fortnite, if you're playing it seriously, you are quite actively working your mind. The same with, you know, a video game like Rust. You know, you'll just get killed over and over and over until you finally get it, and then, you know, then it's whatever, and then you can get raided, and you're just putting yourself through emotional turmoil. And it's convinced me that humans are just kind of, you know, a small bit, I forget the word, but it essentially means you like pain. But in this sense, emotional pain. Because really, if you think about it, what hobby does not inflict some form of fatigue onto yourself, physical, emotional, etc.? Now, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that if anything, that's why it's a hobby, and that's why it's so important to have hobbies. For example, gym, running, you know, these are hobbies, but at the same time they're part of my life because I need them. Same as video games. I wouldn't say go as far as to say as I need them, but I could definitely find a different release in that form. But they are the release I need in that form, so why not use them? But as I said earlier, when you have specific time and you have specific set out places for it, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory if you get down to it closely. And honestly, I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they will completely bin out something like video games and they'll be like, no, this is bad for me, it's wasting my time. However, is it? Have you substituted your time being spent on video games for a different form of time wasting that you're just not acknowledging, but you were acknowledging video games as time wasting because it's kind of almost like a societal belief that video games are a time waster? But if you were to, obviously also people say that doom scrolling is a time waster, etc., etc., but watching movies, technically that's a time waster, and a large majority of people will spend the equivalent amount of time watching movies as the average video gamer. Now, when I say average, that's average because the average video gamer isn't pushing long ass shifts like me, cranking the kids, making sure they go home crying, letting them know it's past their bedtime, and they rage quit before they go to bed in tears. So obviously I'm doing a service for the people, but not everyone can do that, otherwise society will collapse. Hence, I'm taking the burden. I know, I'm such a hero for it. You don't have to thank me, but I actually would appreciate a thanks, to be completely honest with you. So getting back to the point, if everyone was to calculate the amount of time that they spend on their leisure activity, whether it's TV, video games, playing board games, reading, etc., 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 if you really get down to it, with the exception of reading to an extent, because reading could be also fantasy books, which, if you're being honest with yourself, is kind of like a movie. Okay, now I know it has the benefit of being more active for your mind, and it's encouraging imagination, but if we take it to the very form of entertainment, with the exception of books which would be educational, because those are in a different category, the amount of time people spend on each and individual thing is most likely the same on average. Now, that just kind of means people have chosen to spend their time on different things, and that's just for everything. Everyone chooses what sort of time they're going to spend on their individual who to whatses, and from there it's really up to you to evaluate the importance of the who to whatses. Because the importance of a book, and like a book about, okay, let's say reading Harry Potter, everyone knows the Harry Potter books. The importance of reading the Harry Potter books could be the same as playing a video game, and the equivalent amount of time could be spent on a video game as someone reading the Harry Potter books throughout a period of time, hence average. We're not going to the extremes here. Anyway, I hope you kind of got across what I was saying. Don't take anything I say for fact, because I'm no doctor, no genius, no scientist. I'm just some fella. And anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.